Welcome back to the Searley Talks Warriors podcast, brought to you by Ortex. Stoked to be joined today by one of the new recruits for 2022 and a player I'm excited to have at the club, new Warriors half, Ash Taylor. Ash, bro, thanks for jumping on, man.
No worries, brother. Thanks for having me. It's been an awesome ride so far, and just can't wait to learn a lot more about the club.
And it's been well reported the weather over there has been pretty crazy this week. Floods, people getting evacuated. It's pretty sad stuff. But how are things where you've been, bro?
Yeah, it's been challenging weather, you could say. It's pretty dangerous for the community to be out and about when the floods were about. So where I am, it's not too bad. I got like a little lake that runs behind me, so it was pretty flooded, but it sort of didn't come up to the house too much. So didn't really affect me too much, but training-wise, team-wise, we tried to get a game on, but it just obviously wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, for sure. We'll touch on that in a bit, but you made the move over from the Titans this year on a train and trial, bro, and you've impressed the coaching staff to get a full-time gig, so congrats on that, and I know us fans were definitely rooting for you. Pre-seasons are always a tough time, high workload, but obviously your one was pretty important for you, so how have you found the past few months of training?
Yeah, obviously, back myself on a train and trial deal. It sort of just, helped me and my family out not to, especially when the Warriors were going to stay at Redcliffe. It was really appealing to me not to having to move my family up and thousands of kilometers away. It could be Sydney, it could be anywhere. So just very grateful for the opportunity for the Warriors, like obviously to offer me the training trial, and obviously done a little bit over the preseason to try and nail that deal. So just sort of after Christmas, it was the coaching staff were pretty happy. So they signed me full time, which really helped me and my family settle in down here now, and obviously my future settled for this year. So it was challenging at the start, not knowing the uncertainty of the future, but now since signed a full-time top 30 and put my mind at ease a bit, and let me and my family relax here at Redcliffe.
Yeah, for sure. And that must have been quite a relief for you, bro, because it always is a bit of a gamble. And you mentioned the family as well. Must be a bit of a relief to put pen to paper and sign a deal and just know that you're safe where you are at home in Queensland as well.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I mean by, it sort of appealed to me a lot, this Redcliffe, being based at Redcliffe for the 12 months. But in saying that, if they did up and move back to New Zealand halfway through the year, I would move my family over there in a heartbeat, as long as, there's obviously a contract sorted. So, just grateful for the opportunity, and, grateful to be such a part of a historic club.
Sure. And how's it been coming into a new environment, Brian? What have been the main differences you've noticed from the previous setups at the Titans to what you've got now at the Warriors?
Yeah, it was sort of unknown, because I've played against the Warriors. I've played against most teams for the past 6-7 years. So it was just sort of getting to meet the lads, getting to know the personalities, and sort of opening myself up a bit as well. That's just sort of the environment and culture we're trying to build at the Warriors. So it was sort of just getting to know everyone, get to know the new structures, the shapes, the coaching staff, and also the training load, because it's a lot different compared to the Titans. Training days, on your legs, your weights, and all those other little nitty gritty stuff that you have to nail down. It was just it's been different, but it's been enjoyable so far.
That's awesome. And you got your first crack in a Warriors jersey in the Storm trial, a good result for the boys, an exciting watch. How did you find it finally getting out there and playing some footy with the lads? Because you can train away for months, but there's nothing quite like getting out there in the thick stuff and ripping in.
Yeah, it was sort of weird at the start, walking into a shed, with the blokes that you've only known for 3 or 4 months. But just putting on that jersey just meant a lot to me, and, also realize how much it means for those other blokes that have been here for a long time, how much it means to them. So I sort of didn't want to let the jersey down or let the club down with my performance. So, going into there, it was sort of a bit different, because I'm on a different side than what I was at the Titans. So it's been, a bit challenging swapping sides and working on those new combinations. But I got a good 40-minute stint, copped a couple of bruises and hits and bumps. But I thought we made some good steadway, especially the young blokes getting the crack. All those blokes really put in over the preseason. It was just good to see them get a solid hit out against us, such a proud club like the Storm. So, but it was awesome on my behalf, just putting on the jersey. I think it meant a lot, and hopefully during the year sometime, I can pull on the jersey for real and get my club number and really represent the club.
Awesome. And during the week and the lead up to that, was there anyone kind of telling you the history behind the jersey and things like that? Because there have been quite a few roster changes. Were things like that spoken about, or did you already know quite a bit about the club?
I knew a little bit, but just at training, like how the boys commend themselves at training. Also having Stace, Brownie, and all the other assistants as well. So they just give me a few things that I need to work on my game that I can improve on, and also help the team out. So it was a challenge, but really enjoyed it.
For sure. And unfortunately, as a result of the weather, well, it was meant to be Saturday's game, then Monday's game against the Titans was cancelled. Must have been a bit disappointing for the boys, who were no doubt keen for one last hit out and a chance for you potentially to go up against your old teammates. That would have been a bit of a laugh for you.
Yeah, it would have been. I was doing up a few of the boys during the week. It was going to be a bit of fun out there, having to play against them. But I think it was disappointing. Obviously not to be able to get a second trial and a second hit out, because there's nothing like playing a game. You can do all the training you want, but game fitness is a lot different. So it was supposed to be at Redcliffe, and then we got rained out here, and then it was all planned for Monday on the Gold Coast, but then Gold Coast flooded. So it's pretty disappointing, but we went straight back to work, straight back in the training. We'll obviously train this week and get a few days off this weekend to kick the legs up and get ready for round one.
Yeah, nice. And did the week change much? Like, it's pretty hard to replicate a game, but do you guys have like some kind of opposed game that you guys can rip in? Because it could be quite an advantage for the other teams with 2 proper trial games before heading in. Yeah,
so tomorrow we're heading up to Sunny Coast. So we're going to be playing the Dragons in round one. We're going up there to to have a sort of mini trial against our 2 teams to have at the club. So it's going to be a little hit out tomorrow, but I'm sure the boys who are going to play in round one have a lot of experience, and they know what they need to bring into that game 1 against the Dragons. So I think our main focus is the Dragons at the moment, and hopefully the boys put their best foot forward this week, leading into next week's game.
Sure. And let's take it back to where it all started for you. Born and raised in Toowoomba. Can you tell us a little bit about your journey? When did you start playing league, and how did you find your way into the NRL?
Yeah, so I was born in Toowoomba, but immediately moved out to St. George. It's about 3.5 hours, so sort of like southwest Queensland. Yeah. So pretty much done all my junior schooling out there right up to grade 5. Then my mum and dad, thought it'd be a better opportunity for me and my brother and my sister to pack up and move down to Toowoomba. Done my schooling in Toowoomba from grade 5 all the way through to 12. Done a little stint on the Gold Coast, 6 months, but signed. It was supposed to be my brother that was supposed to be, where I am. He had a lot of talent in the juniors, but he just chose a different path to what I did in life, which is all good. He's happy now. So, I got picked up by the Bronx pretty young. I was probably like 12, 13, since I come through the system.
Yeah, right.
Just working my way up through the grades, doing the hard yards with the Broncos. Traveling to Brizzy, because it's about 1.5 hours, 2 hours to Brizzy once a week. And then sort of went down there after school. Straight after school, went down. They put us up in a Broncos home, so we're paying rent. There was 4 of us in there paying rent, and we're just working and playing footy down there in the full-time 20 system. And sort of progressed through there, and then got my debut there. The year the Broncos made the finals, 2015. It was unbelievable. To get the opportunity under Wayne Bennett. I think Ben Hunt had a cork at the time heading to the finals. So actually, I only lasted like 29 minutes in my debut because my jersey got stuck in Tohu Harris, and compound fraction my fingers. So it sort of brought me back to him. At the same club as him now. So still remind him of it that he owes me 2 fingers. That's sort of my journey. And then went down to the Gold Coast with an opportunity. Worked my way back to being a second tier because they signed Tyron Roberts and Kane Elgey at the time. So and then Kane Elgey done his ACL that year and pretty much gave me the jersey for the whole year. So it was an unbelievable, and ever since then I never looked back. So loved it then, I'm still loving it now, and just grateful for the opportunity of still being able to do what I do for a job and love it.
Yeah, for sure. 12 years old. That's unreal, man.
Yeah.
Understand you have a young family of your own as well, 2 little ones, which is awesome. How do you think having kids has changed your approach to footy, bro?
It's changed my mentality off the field. Being young in the NRL didn't really affect me. I was just, just loving the game for what it is. But now I think I have a lot more to play for, a lot more sort of pressure on my shoulders to perform because I need to make them a living. I need to earn money, and this is the way that I love doing is playing NRL. So the fact that I need to put in training and in games to provide for them off the field, I think that's what's changed my mindset, especially since my son was born just over 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's awesome. And no doubt you've heard about the Warriors fans back here in New Zealand. If all goes to plan and the team's allowed to come back for a few games, are you looking forward to coming across and playing in Warriors colours at Mount Smart? You'll be on the right side of the fans as well this time. Something a bit different for you.
Yeah, no, it's it'll definitely be different being on the other side of the fence. Used to getting booed and whatever else at the stadium. So, but I know how much the Warriors fan base get behind their club. Representing the New Zealand club over here. It still means as much, and I know how much support they have. So the boys know how much expectations on them to really push hard every game and to sneak back into that 8. So that's where our mindset is to really put our best foot forward this year. To be back in that finals heat run. So yeah, really the boys are really busting out over here. Putting in the hard yards, and hopefully we can take some games back to NZ and perform over there well.
Yeah, fingers crossed. And one of the all-time greats, Stacey Jones, he's an assistant with the club for this year. No doubt he's had a fair bit of input into working with the halves. So how's it been working with Stacey? And what have been the main takeaways you've picked up from the little general?
Yeah, Stacey's been awesome. I'm sort of in awe of him still, walking around the club. You see a lot of Stacey getting around, you're just like, oh, that's Stacey Jones. Like, you're still, same with Sean and that. I've played against Sean for a long time, but seeing Sean and Stacey, guys that you've idolised growing up, seeing them in the same team, in the same club, in the same working environment, it's a different story here. But little Stacey, he's sort of working on our attack and with our halves. So, he's put a lot of hard effort into us, into training, and really narrowed our focus down on playing well and giving us drills to make us play well. So Stace, picking his brain here and there, Stace, it's unbelievable, and he knows the game more than us blokes have known because he's played it for a long time. So we're sort of growing with him, and it's just awesome to see him around the club every day.
And you mentioned there like a couple guys that you idolise or look up to. So who was kind of your idols growing up? Obviously, you're a Queensland kid. Was that a pretty heavy influence on you? Yeah,
100%. I was Queensland in the state of Washington, sitting front seat every game. As a kid, for Darren Lockyer, I sort of loved the Broncos when I was growing up. So, you're Darren Lockyer, Sam Thaiday, and as I sort of got a bit older, it's probably Jonathan Thurston. Being an Indigenous bloke, really had an effect on me. So, those were probably the two main ones I looked up to as a kid.
Yeah, and you mentioned the Indigenous part there. You played for the All-Stars. How was that experience, bro?
Yeah, it was awesome, mate. Represent not just yourself, your family, but the community as well. The whole community got behind us in Newcastle. It was, and it was just an unreal week. Learning more about my culture. You can never stop learning about your culture. So I'm still learning today. More and more about my culture, but it's been awesome so far to be able to share some stories with these lads here, because they're not used to probably having an Indigenous bloke here at the club, telling their stories about, where he's from, like the native land over here. So, just trying to educate them, and they're educating me every day about, their culture as well. So it's been awesome.
Yeah, cool. And is that something that you want to do again in the future, pull on that jersey? Because that All-Star game the other week was pretty sick. So,
yeah, no, it was probably the last few years I've been, trying to get my body right for the season. So it just sort of hasn't been right probably the last few years. So I just really worked hard on getting my body right, to be able to perform at club level. And, I want to do that at the Warriors and impress as soon as I put that jersey on. So it'll be something that I always dream of playing in. So whenever the opportunity arises, I would take it. But at the moment, my heart lies at the club level, and, I have to perform to obviously keep providing for my family, but, keep this proud club going.
And how have you found Brownie and the other coaching staff? Is their approach to the game quite similar to what you've had in the past, or has it been quite different for you?
Oh, it's different. Like the game's evolving every year. So, that means coaching strategies and training strategies have to change. And, the game's getting so fast these days. It's just hard work and effort on effort. You can't keep drilling that into your team. And, Brownie's been good. Obviously been half back in his day, and also Morgs and Slaters as well, really working hard with those guys. So we've been training hard, and hopefully that resembles into winning games, especially early on in the year. I think it'll give the boys a lot of confidence, and I think to start well against the Dragons will give us a good indication of how we've been going.
Sure. And still only 26, bro. You got a lot of football ahead of you. Already played 115 NRL games as well, which is an achievement in itself. But I guess, what are your goals for 2022 in the Warriors jersey?
Yeah, obviously just to pull on the Warriors jersey for start with. At every club you go to, you want to be in that starting team every week. So I think that's what my main goal is, to work my way into the team, and hopefully hold a jersey and take this club deep into the finals. So but other than that, I think just stay injury free. Obviously it's a bit hard to say that when you don't really know the outcome or how the game's going to play out. So I think those two are my main goals I'm really working on this year, and obviously to be a better father. You can't stop being a better father. So that's sort of one thing I'm doing off the field is learning how to become a better father for my kids, to give them the best opportunity, the best childhood they can have.
Yeah, unreal. And I asked Sean this as well last week, but obviously a few young bucks in the squad, particularly around preseason. Who's someone that maybe you didn't know a lot about that's really impressed you, one that we can keep an eye out for in the future?
Rocco Berry, mate. Like obviously you've seen him a little bit last year, but he's really one that stood out over the preseason. And Villy, there's those two young centers this year. Those guys are unbelievable and got freakish talent, and I can't wait to obviously see them play this year. And obviously young Reese, he's itching to be out there round one, but obviously got to serve his suspension. But those guys are the future, and if we can keep on top of those guys and just keep driving into them, that this is their job, this is their jersey, and hopefully they can stay at the club long term. But yeah, those are the three guys that I'll be looking out for, especially this year.
Exciting stuff. And today it was announced Dylan Walker signed. Like, do the boys get excited about stuff like that, or is it kind of just focus on this year, or do the boys get quite fizzed up when a big name like that signs?
Yeah, it's obviously awesome. He's a pretty skillful player. He's been around the block. I think he's only a year older than me, and he's played a lot more games than me. So, he can bring he can bring his knowledge and all the skill sets he has, and I'm sure he's going to be a great addition to when he comes next year. But the boys are really happy with it. They were talking about our training today, and like obviously a couple of the boys put up a few stories and that. So obviously know him on a personal level. Me personally, I don't, but I'm just stoked for the club that they picked up someone of his ability.
Nice. And some quick fire questions, bro. I asked Sean the same ones, so it'll be interesting to see what the answers are. But who's the fittest and strongest in the team?
Oh, the fittest. Probably Chanel. He's pretty fit.
Yeah, Sean said the same. Yeah.
He smashed it. That 1.2 test, I think he's got the fastest time this year. So, he's probably the fittest. The strongest. I haven't really lifted much with the boys, but dare say Adden or Bunce or Logie or someone like that. I'm not too sure what the numbers are like because I don't really lift. I'm not near them because they're in a different place than what I am, different category. But there's some strong boys up front.
Sure. And who's the joker in the team? Who's the character?
Oh, Reese, 100% Reese. He's just a young kid coming through. He's got a lot to learn, but he's sort of one that gets picked on or picks on people a fair bit.
Yeah, Shawnee said he's not short of confidence, and voicing his opinion, which is good for 100%. A young bloke, I guess. But
100%, he's always voicing his opinion. He's got no filter. It's just always 100%.
Well, you can tell by the way he plays as well. He definitely chances his arm, so you love to see that. Who's the culture captain, bro? The guy off the field who's always bringing the excitement, geeing the boys up before training?
Probably Joshy Curran's pretty good. Jazz got a hard edge about him. It's just the boys trying to drive each other every day. It changes every day. Obviously, you try and put your best foot forward every day, but not many people can do that. But Actually, probably Marcelo. He brings a lot of energy to the team, and he's just always go, go, go. So yeah, probably Mars.
You're on an away trip. You're on the bus. Who's playing the music, bro? Who do you think's got the best taste of music out of the boys?
Oh, Ellie actually plays a fair bit of music. Ellie Katoa, he's probably one. He's probably the only one that I really know that plays a lot of music. Oh, Aaron plays a lot of music as well. They carry the speakers around 24/7, so you don't know who's on what these days.
Yeah, Shawnee mentioned Ellie as well, so he's a popular choice.
Yeah.
And lastly, not my cup of tea, bro, but who's most likely to go viral on TikTok, do you reckon?
I have to be Reese. He's got a lot of following, and you know he's the type of guy that would do that. So I'm just gonna say Reese, full stop.
I saw the other day he got voted like number 3 in the hottest men in rugby league. So
yeah. And he wasn't short of gloating about it as well.
So the boys noticed that stuff, eh? Do they?
Yeah, 100%. You know, he's just that's just Reese. That's just Reese, full stop. So he's a good kid. But yeah, he just loves that sort of stuff. So I'm gonna say Reese.
Yeah, good choice. Got a few listener questions for you here, a few fan questions, bro. This one comes through from Aaron Tanui. He says, how does the culture and team environment off the field compare to that at the Titans to the Warriors?
We sort of worked on it a bit at the Titans. Obviously we had a few rough years there when I was there. Another wooden spoon and that, but since our new coach come there, we sort of instilled in us that hard edge that we just want to do anything to win. Not really dwelling on anything that happens in the game or off the field. We just really want to know what's going on the field. So I can see those signs here at the club. It's just a matter of putting them into games now, putting them into the season. So yeah, I think culture plays a massive part in becoming a successful team for what I've seen so far. That's where it's heading at the moment with the club. So we'll just keep on working on that, and hopefully that shows on the field. That all those stuff we work on that training.
Nice. Next one comes from Jake Kakariki, and he says, "What's it like being coached by the GOAT Wayne Bennett back in your Broncos days?"
Oh, it's actually pretty it's different. I think at the start he didn't even know who I was when I first when he first come to the club. But then he's sort of got a hard edge about him that like you don't want to let him down, and he'll spit the hard truths at you. So it's just the mentality that you're playing under Wayne Bennett, and if you do something wrong, he's gonna annihilate you. So it's just he's just such a great club, and he knows how to bring a club together. So he's still one of the GOATs, I reckon.
Yeah, for sure. This one comes from David Barner, and I'm guessing it might be a little personal one, but he says, who are you looking forward to playing the most at the Titans or smashing, and why is it Aaron Clark?
I get along with most of the boys. Definitely Aaron. Once I get a hold of Aaron, I'm gonna get him. But probably Kevy or Sam. They were the sort of the ones I was sort of hanging around with at the club. So if I get the opportunity to put a little sneaky one on them, I definitely will be.
Good stuff. And one from Robert Harris, he says, if the season goes to plan and the Warriors are interested for next year, would you consider extending the contract and moving over to New Zealand? I guess you touched on it earlier, but is that something you've thought about and something you'd be up for?
Yeah, 100%. As long as it provides for my family, and then it sort of makes sense for my family to go there. So, I'd never say never. But I knew environment has been good for me, and maybe a change over there to see what it's really like over there. The Māori side of it, it would be great to learn, especially in New Zealand. So I'd definitely move over to NZ if I had the opportunity to play some footy over there.
Yeah, Sean was joking that some of the Aussie boys don't even know we have beaches and they think it rains the whole time. But I can promise you, bro, it's not that bad. It's actually quite a good place to live, one of the better places. So
every time I've been there, it's I swear it's always rained. Like we tried to play golf and it was raining. Like it's always rain.
Oh, well, today was beautiful, so we'll take it off there. And your favourite Kiwi teammate that you've played with across the 3 teams, is there anyone in particular that was born or raised in New Zealand that's kind of stood out for you as your favourite teammate?
Probably Kevy. I'm assuming he was born in New Zealand.
He's a Kiwi for sure.
He's a Kiwi, yeah. No, Kevy, just when he first came to the club, I sort of learned a lot of him. Obviously being a very experienced campaigner, how he treats his body. You know, when he's prepping for a game or for training, you know, it's always 100%. So, yeah, he'd probably be the one that stands out for me, because he's probably the most I've played with a New Zealand player. So, yeah, probably Kevy.
That's epic. Well, that's all I've got, bro. So cheers for jumping on. And I think I speak on behalf of all Warriors fans when I say we're excited to have you at the club. We look forward to seeing you this year. So all the best for the 2022 season. Thanks for your time. Unreal to have a yarn, bro. Much appreciated.
Sweet. Thank you. And up the Warriors, eh?
Up the Warriors. Legend.